Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm your host, Rich, and I am joined by none other than Ravage. How you doing, Ravage?
Oh, man. I'm all wired here.
Yeah, right. If you're just joining us, you missed probably the best match that we have seen in the Major League Gaming Pro League so far. That was absolutely insane. And we're jumping right into the second match right now. First band's already in, so we're going to jump over there. But, man, kind of walk us through what happened in that last match, Ravage.
Just a teeter-totter of bad decisions. You know, it's a... you ever watch The Hangover?
Oh, yeah. That definitely resembled something like that.
This game is what happened the night before.
Looking right now, the first two bans are going to come in, and we're going to see Athena and Hell get banned out right off the bat.
Yeah, two standard bans going to come out here. Don't expect anything less. Hell and Athena. Global Pressure going to be taken out from the Athena, as well as those 13-second intervals on the chain CC. Hell, with that awesome sustain, can get slammed in lane. You can kill her 8 times. She can still come back and win the game for her team.
Yeah, we saw how dangerous Hell actually was last week. Just giving so much sustain for XGN. They really managed to kind of take advantage of the healing meta that is still lingering but slightly falling out of favor. We haven't seen too much of it tonight. The second ban is going to be Xing Chen. And earlier tonight, you were kind of saying, I wonder when we're actually going to see that ban start to come out. And there it is. That god has been doing work for the likes of Sealcar, and a bunch of other people have been playing him too.
It's slamming people, and it slammed people in UMG, it slammed people in the Pro League last week, and it was slamming people tonight. That god needs to be banned out. He is just... The pros are just able to synchronize that ultimate way too good right now. We've seen that was a crucial part of a Fire Giant and Gold Fury Steel, chaining those ultimates with the Ring of Spears on the Odin. It was executed to perfection. It was just game-breaking. It was just... Yeah. It really turned the favors on the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, definitely a reasonable ban for Onslaught to ban out, and we are going to see the last ban or the second ban for Aware go onto Sun Wukong, and right off the bat, Onslaught going to lock in Shibalanka.
Yeah, I think the Sun Wukong is going to be one you're going to see fall out of favor very shortly. I think that's going to be one of those bans that you're going to see people get more comfortable with. I really think that Bologna and a couple other gods can't hold their own against SWK right now. I don't think he's as game-breaking as he was the patch before this one. I think that people know how to deal with him right now, and that's going to be that's going to make him fall out of just a first-rate ban character.
Yeah, we could see it. Definitely still a scary god. He's insane sustain, and just really just able to poke over and over again while still clearing the waves.
No monkeying around.
Yeah, none at all. I'm really curious to see. He did get a little bit of a nerf, right, to his mana cost, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, the thing is that people see it's top-rate bans. What ends up happening is people learn to play against them. We're playing at a very high level right now, and what ends up happening as these teams get to know each other, which they already do very well. There are some roster changes of both these teams, so that's why you're seeing standard bans. But as you see that start to happen, you'll start to see these standard bans just fall out of favor. We're going to see Global Pressure come out, though, on the side of Aware with Guan Yu heals. Thor comboed there as well. We've seen that can be very effective, but Thor not very effective in the first game, just able to get shut down nice and early by the Fenrir. So we're interested to see how they look to counteract that on the side of Onslaught.
Capri, scary pick.
Capri is a very scary pick, and at times I see that as, depending on your team comp, could be a more valuable ban than just say a Sun Wukong. You combo that with an X-Ball who's so huge in teamfights, or a Zhong Kui, with the ability that he has to sustain and the damage that he can do. If you put the ult on him and just sustain him through his ultimate, I mean, that can be huge, right?
I'm liking this this pick, all the picks so far for Onslaught. Definitely shaping up to be a strong team. But no joke on the Aware front either. Probably going to see Medusa get locked in here. Yeah, Medusa, Guan Yu, Thor. There's some gods that we see quite often, and for good reason.
If we're going to see that Medusa, Guan Yu combo once again, we saw how effective that can be in zoning early game in the jungle, getting that attack speed camp down, or zoning them off that, and just getting the lane now clearing. So we interested to see how they answer on the side of Onslaught. We've seen that the Sylvanas pickup was very nice, as they were able, after the mana pools were depleted, on the side of Epsilon, they were able to actually push that lane back with the Sylvanas. So it'll be interesting if they looked at this same thing. Oh no, Capri's over there.
Yeah.
That's right. Capri's lane clear is also a little bit disgusting. So that could maybe draw there, because Guan Yu just can't step on the wave and Talu Assault as freely as if it was another support. He's going to get hit by Capri. He's going to take a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they actually decide to fill out right now, because both team comps, the next two gods are going to matter so much. Like, these comps are somewhat of a shell, but can't really tell exactly what game plan they're going for. But we are going to see the bans come in, Athena and Odin. Or sorry, Giannis and Odin.
Yeah, Giannis and Odin. We're going to see more global pressure taken off the map. It's already been matched, X-Ball and the Thor right there. So combo that with the Giannis. There's not a whole lot more to go around.
Yeah, definitely.
AD's going to be picked up. That's going to be a nice combination with the Stone Gaze as well as the Thor Ultimate and Guan Yu's Horse. A lot of lockdown into the Pillar of Agni. And we've seen how effective Yubs can be. Yubs and Cloud right now, I have to say, are really at the top of their game. We've seen them absolutely dominate in the scene. I'm excited to see what he can do on the Hades.
Okay, Hercules.
Hercules, we were talking earlier about the meta and healing, how we're in that awkward spot where we're between the healing and the tank meta right now. And Hercules kind of fits that mold. He's right in the middle. He has that heal and that sustain, and he's also very tanky. So he has that mitigation built in as well. We're going to see Bastet picked up. I don't think we're going to be quite... No, Bakasura.
Bakasura. Okay. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But, I mean, the true damage, maybe for the Hades? I'm not exactly sure what the reason is for that.
Yeah, there has to be a reason there. I'm going to say it right now. I do not know what it is. I am surprised to see that Bakasura there. I'm kind of surprised on the Hercules front, too. Who's Hercules going to be against in the top? I'm not sure if that's actually the right pick either.
Hercules is actually a fairly effective pick against the Hades. Or Guan Yu. Like, he can box with either of those characters fairly easily. He's a little bit heavier on the mana side than both of those gods, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out for him.
Does Aware have the flexibility? Oh, no. Okay. They're going to end up blocking in Sylvanas, so I'm going to assume we're most likely going to see the Sylvanas fill the support role here.
Yeah, that's supports Sylvanas. So that's going to be a disgusting amount of clear on the side of Aware, so watch for them just to go and push the lane hyper aggressively. They'll, with the acid spray, they maybe not even have to use that, as Sylvanas with his with the attack speed is possibly going to outclear his Khepri X-Ball.
That would be very good for Team Aware. In the laning phase overall, though, who do you favor?
Right now, looking at these matchups, I do favor on the side of Aware. As it goes to late game, they'll look for this to turn on the side of Onslaught. They do have some hyper aggression coming in the late game with these hyper carries. They have an X-Ball and Bakasura there, as well as you look at Hercules, who gets in that just unkillable state later into the game, as well as Zhang Kui, who really gets incredibly tanky as the game goes on. You pair that up with Khepri, able to sustain the hyper carries, get them back in the fight when they die, and bring them back to life. That's a really good late game comp right there.
How do you expect Bakasura, though, in the early game to actually handle? I'm not really sure. I kind of feel like he could have problems.
Bakasura does a lot of true damage, and Thor will outdamage him very early, especially on those mid-camp fights. So that's going to be a consideration. Don't look for him to go very aggressive on these mid-camps. Look for him maybe to try and trade off the mid-camps, read them, and maybe take the lefts while they take the rights, and do something of that. Their clear is going to be troubling in the mid lane just starting off against the Hades and the Thor. So they need to... It's going to be a rough first 5 to 10 minutes for them.
Yeah, and those first 5 to 10 minutes are going to be absolutely crucial. If we do see Aware Gaming kind of take off, they may be able to kind of bully Onslaught out of actually making it into the late game that they're striving to hit.
They're just going to have to weather the storm.
Yeah, they definitely will.
Don't play it aggressive. Watch for those Thor ultimates. Call out your rotations. Make sure that you're getting back on our tower when you think Thor's up in the air, and they'll make it to late game.
Yeah, I mean, their best bet, like you said, definitely to just play defensive, not make any mistakes, not put yourself in a position to make those mistakes. But if you're Aware, you want to come out pretty hot. You definitely want to come out hot.
Yeah, they need to really get into the mid game big time. That needs to be their whole... They need to run away with this by mid game, this Aware team. They just need to come out, lights out, get the team fights going nice and early, get the big rotations like we've seen Epsilon do in Release in Game 1. Just go, make those 4-man rotations, get the kills, knock people out of the lane, get them behind, and just run away with the game. That's what they need to do. That's the key for them to win.
Yeah, and if we don't see them do it, I can see this slip out of their hands pretty quickly here. Aware, though, how good are they at playing this kind of fast and aggressive guns out style?
We're pretty good. I mean, you look at Cruxy. Cruxy is good aggressively as a carry as well as Yubs. Yubs not afraid to make those big plays. T-Small, we've seen him able to make those big rotations as well. Candyman plays, I wouldn't say an aggressive solo lane, so it'd be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, but definitely this match, like we said, definitely important for them. They've managed to pull off a pretty impressive win in their last game, and that was against none other than Team Elevate, your champions from NOLA. So they're definitely they're probably feeling pretty good right now. They're probably pretty confident going into this.
Yeah, one has to think that this Bakasura and the X-Ball are comfort picks. You're going to see them come out Diamond. 2 ranked 10s there.
Yeah.
Some comfort picks. And actually, that's Baz. Baz picking up the 80 carry. You probably remember Baz from Blue Esports. He's pretty good carry, actually. I think he's probably one of the underrated carries in the scene. So interested to see him picked up and place a hyper carry. See how he manages to box here with Cruxy. As they've had a lot of experience in boxing, actually, scrim partners for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at the Bakasura quite a bit just to kind of figure out, even if it was a comfort, like, I want to see why. I really want to see why they went for this and if it's going to pay off or if it's going to kind of nip them in the butt.
It could go either way. I really think that Bakasura is a very, very risky pick. But I remember when I was coaching Managing Mortality that Onslaught used to take that Bakasura pick a lot, now that I think about it. And I remember that we had actually spec'd a Willix against him quite often just because they were so prevalent to pick in Bakasura. So that is a comfort pick by Onslaught. And this actually is probably a team comp that they've run.
Yeah. So right now we're going to see pretty aggressive wards here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're going to see the big grouping here coming out from Onslaught. They do this a lot. They do the big 5-man grouping for the ward placement. And we're going to see Aware do exactly the same thing. We've seen them actually break this out versus Elevate, and they managed to get a first blood. I don't know if you remember that on around the Fire Giant.
Yeah. I definitely do not think that Onslaught's looking for a fight right now. But we are going to see Hercules kind of be a little bit of a bully there. Push some people out. We're going to see quite a few people back right now. Kepri moving through.
Yeah, Kepri's going to back it on up there. He sees the Faunus coming up towards mid Harpies, looking for the ward. Look at those ward placements from the side of Aware. They have one on mid Harpies, one towards the blue camp to look for the invasion on the blue, just in case. And they have one deep on the speed camp, just so they can monitor the progress of the enemy jungler. Yeah,
it definitely looking like pretty standard wards, though.
Yeah, Cruxy going to break out the Devo gauntlets to start off. No, actually, Cruxy doesn't do that. He actually starts off with that to actually build into Soul Leader, as we've seen before, and he doesn't build his boots. We've seen him do that quite a few times.
All right, right now in the jungle, we're going to see some pretty standard... Everyone just trying to get their buffs, but right now we do have a potential invade from... Oh, is Cruxy going to open up here? Yeah, it looks like he's going to, but no damage is really... He does a decent amount of damage to Kepri. Shibalanka going to return a little bit of that pressure, and I think, yeah, the buff's actually going to go to Cruxy. That's a really big pickup for him. They do manage to steal that buff. That's a big win because you're going to see X-Ball and the Kepri are going to have to go back in around tower. They're going to reset up here in lane. They'll probably lose a minion or two, and they'll be able to zone out as Cruxy and Blackside are going to hit level 2 first, so they're going to have those extra abilities there to really initiate a fight here if they want to. Yeah, and it does look like, we did see them lose a little bit of XP in the lane right now. Cruxy is going to already be level 2 with Blackside. Yeah, just look at this freeze here. Look at all the minions up front. Here we go. We're going to see the... Oh my god, the whiff on the pull there. Blackside had the snare, but whiffed the pull. That's unfortunate, as that could have been a first blood for them. Yeah, that would have been a very... That's the exact first blood that they want to get to, and now Blackside actually being the least healthy player in this duo lane. Look at Blackside and Cruxy, how they've just built up those archers here. And, you know, they're effectively doing that just to get the damage out here on those front minions. So good job by them, but Baz going to step on up here. Not going to get zoned out too much close to his tower. Did manage to push up quite a bit with that style too. And we're actually seeing right now, we're seeing Aware move right on through, kind of stealing jungle objectives. We just saw them grab a back camp. And that really could be... Because of the Bakasura, that might be why they're so confident. But Bakasura having the most golden hand right now.
That was an awesome rotation by them there. They just read where the aware players were going. The Onslaught players were going. They managed to go back and get those back camps. That's going to put them ahead on XP just a little bit.
Yeah, that was a pretty smart move. A little bit gutsy. But Bakasura right now, I really think he's going to be a weak pick. I really do. But it looks like he might be moving in right now, potentially trying to... he looked at Guan Yu, but decides it's not really the right move.
He's wasting time and actually losing XP off the wave here by making that little rotation. That's the type of things that you don't want to do when you're behind on gold and XP on the enemy jungler. Thor already level 5 and 300 gold up on the Bakasura already in this game.
Yeah, and like we said, Bakasura not particularly strong until the late game.
No, he's not going to... I'd be surprised if he doesn't get first blooded, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of fallen the most behind here, looking right now. But we are going to see, actually, Shibalanka and Khepri are level 4 still.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate as well. You're going to see Cruxy hit that level 6 here nice and soon. Look at that XP bar, very close, as Malvado and Baz still have about a quarter of a bar left to go.
Yeah, honestly, they need to... they're kind of waiting for their minion wave here. I don't know what caused that. Was it just was it that early rotation onto the attack speed camp? Oh, we're gonna see Blackside get a decent hit off here, and Cruxy gonna pour some damage right on into Baz, but not enough. But he's definitely not healthy, and that's gonna be a good amount of pressure to kind of set the tone for this duo lane right here.
We're going to see Sylvanas and Medusa all down there. Badge is going to be put down to about half health, and that's a good trade there for Onslaught. They have the ults down. That pressure and that fear of getting hit by those is gone now, so they can just rest easy and try and farm up in the minion wave without being worried about hitting by a max range Stone Gaze.
Yeah, that's definitely going to give them a little bit of confidence.
Blink down on Sylvanas as well.
Oh yeah, we're actually going to see right now. We're going to see them kind of back up a little bit here, but they are healthy, so they definitely don't have to leave the lane, which is good. We're seeing a little bit of a rotation go down right now. Bakasura looking at this speed camp, but not too eager to initiate, waiting for the right time. We are going to see Freakster Dave roll around here too, and Zhang Kui, they're going to close in right around now. Zhang Kui has already moved in. Thor,
this is going to be a bad news. We see the wall hit down. Zonkwe at half health. We see Candyman in deep, looking for the Pillar of Agony. That is huge. Hercules all going to go down. Bakasura popping his as well. Yubs, 1 bar of health. T-Small going to pick up the double kill.
Yeah, T-Small picking up a nice double kill here, and Candyman's going to pick up 1 for himself. That was a very, very, very big play for Aware Gaming. We're going to see first blood, and it's going to be followed by 3 more kills. And right now, they're going to go ahead, and they are going to take that speed camp, too.
I feel like Onslaught was the sandwich and T-Small and Candyman were the buns.
Oh yeah, that sandwich has kind of been eaten too. The meat is all gone. All gone. Yeah, we're going to see 4 people respawn right now, but they were definitely sent to that graveyard, and we are already going to see the repercussions. XP difference, 5,000 5 minutes into the game, and gold difference at around 3K.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge, huge gold difference. 4 men down. That is not just 4 kills. That's people getting knocked out of lane. That's not people farming this early in the game when you are already behind levels in every single lane. As we see buff cam timers actually going on the side of Aware as well. That's not where you want to be at this point in the game.
Yeah, and yeah, especially when you got Bakasura, man. So Aware's super aggressive team comp maybe starting to pay off right now. They're going to maybe be able to march into mid-game a little bit earlier than the opposing team, which is exactly what they wanted. Let's see if they can keep this up, though. Looking right now, everyone has returned to lane. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we saw some more aggression come out really quickly from Aware. They just need to get another solid rotation, maybe even move into Gold Fury.
Yobs has 3 levels on Zonkwe right now.
Yeah,
that's going to be a problem.
Look at the XP per minute. Yeah, it's really, really just in favor of Aware Gaming.
673 XP per minute on Guan Yu, 660 on Thor, 685 on Hades. It's just, how do you come back from that?
And look at Khepri right now. I mean, Kepri's fallen behind in the XP department very quickly, and that's a very aggressive duo lane. You need to be kind of picking up some XP in that long lane if you want to survive.
Blackside and Cruxy just played it right. They were just stalling that wave, making sure the minions were building up and trying to zone them off as much XP as possible. Minions were dying up there to their own wave, and they couldn't get close enough to get the XP off of it.
Yeah, right now, though, if you are Aware Gaming, how do you want to kind of spiral this advantage? Like, what is your move to kind of keep the momentum going, keep aggressive? Right now, we're going to see Shibalanga all. Okay, we are actually going to see the first kill for Onslaught right now. Players starting to move in, though. We're going to see a trade and a little bit of a pursuit still going on, but it doesn't look like they're going to pick up another kill. Even trade. Score is 1-5, 7 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, and it looks like they are going to steal another camp, and this XP is adding up.
Yeah, that was not in favor of Aware right there. That was a draw on soul laners, or not even soul laners. That was just a draw on 2 players there. You're going to lose your blue buff. You're going to lose jungle control as well. Good rotation there. We talked about this earlier in the pregame with Aware. There's a snare on black side, but what's Capri going to do here? He's going to hit with the wall. We talked about this early. If they were able to get those 3 and 4 man rotations online and get those quick rotations like their team con warranted, unlike Release was able to do in the first game versus Epsilon, they were going to have success.
Yeah, and ultimately, that trade at first, it seemed like it was just kind of a wash, right? But at the end of the day, when you manage to steal another objective, you're just pushing yourself farther and farther ahead in the XP, and they're going to wrap up another one here too.
Yeah, they're just raiding the enemy jungle here. They just have complete map control on Onslaught. They need to try and translate some of this pressure into a tower if they can. Cruxy does have that tier 1 on the duo side pushed up fairly convincingly. Look for the rotation here coming on Zhonghui. As there's the wall across, Zhonghui not going to be able to escape. Beads are pop. Here's the Pillar of Agony and the Wrath of Terra. Berserker's Barrage.
What a beautiful wall. That wall set it all up. He could not move after that. And talk about a beads popping comp there.
Yeah, we're going to see that wall. If you hit that right on the other side, that was game over. Zhonghui was getting out. He had his beads, but just placed perfectly there by T-Small.
Yeah, in a situation like that, you kind of just have to shiver up against that wall until you die. Maybe cry a little bit, but there really isn't much you can do.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement for sure. We're going to see the rotations into the enemy jungle once again. Look for that speed buff to be taken as Guanyu makes the rotation with Sylvanas.
They're just destroying this jungle right now. Absolutely destroying this jungle. It looks like we're going to see... Bakasur is still scared to engage. He's going to have to give up his speed buff here.
Yeah, I think there he goes. He's going to drop his ultimate, which I think is going to be a misstep. There's the wall going to come down from Thor. There's way too much CC here. Candyman going to get the stun down snare coming down from Capri. And then we're just going to bounce it on out.
We're kind of just begging for an engagement there. We kind of saw Onslaught not get too close to them, and I think Aware ultimately upset about that, and that's why they decided to move out. Not going to get themselves in a bad position, but they definitely are thirsty for another kill right now, and Cruxy's going to take it when we're not paying attention in the solo lane, and he might be able to get a decent amount of pressure onto this tower. Now he's got to move back a little bit. How much would a Gold Fury be worth right now?
The Gold Fury right now is nearing what a tier 1 tower would be worth. It's right on the cusp. I'd say within a minute here, you'd be even on what that's worth. Look at the big engagement here in middle.
Oh, wow. Really, really well done. Not going to be quite enough to take it. Bakasura is going to manage to get back to the safety of his tower, but Bakasura just looking pretty weak here. Really not seeing much from him. He has managed to get to level 10, and he's been counter-jungled so hard. He really has just been counter-jungled so hard. We're actually going to see Blackseye right now try to take this damage camp too, and you're just kind of seeing Kepri and Bakasura there waiting to steal it, but they can't because the rotation's coming in so strong.
You know it's bad when 4 men rotate onto a Sylvanas trying to steal your damage camp and you're too afraid to move in.
Yeah, like, you're starting to see the ramifications of getting really far behind against this super aggressive team.
Yeah, everyone is ahead here right now. Sylvanas is actually innately tanky due to his level, as well as the rest of the team here on Aware. They're making these big rotations together as they do have that dual lane tower down. Look for them to put even more map pressure on the board.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the best area for them to apply that pressure would be. We are kind of seeing them march around the map together, but we are also seeing Onslaught know they need to group up on these towers and try to defend them because that's their best chance of staying alive. We're going to see a little bit of a rotation here. Candyman, though.
Could be in trouble.
He could be in trouble, but it looks like he reads it.
Shot.
Looks like he reads it pretty well there. Gets back to his minion wave in just enough time for the rest of his team to kind of move over to this Gold Fury right now, and the Gold Fury is at around 50% already. We are going to see Shibalanka and Kepri potentially move in here, but they're not going to get there in time. It's going to go down pretty easily. Right now, we're seeing Aware just kind of run away with this lead. Looking at the graphs, already 10,000 experience ahead and about 6,600 gold.
But the real problem is going to fall into the fact now that Cruxy does have 50 stacks in Transcendence, full stacks, while Baz only has 28 on his Dev Gauntlet. So watch for Cruxy to win those engagements here for the next few minutes, and he will continue to outbox him as he goes back for the buy here, likely to get a Soul Eater. We've seen him ditch on the boots a couple times.
Yeah, right now, we're starting to see some builds come online too. It's definitely... It's not impossible at all for Onslaught to win this just because of their comp. If they can kind of get their effective farm going on, they can kind of return in this game and start winning team fights, because like we said earlier, in the team fight phase, in the late game, super strong comp. Even Bakasura will turn around and be a very strong god, but looking right now at the KDAs, looking right now at the level advantages, that's not an easy order by any means. You have, look at the KDAs, it's straight up. It is Aware on top, and just Onslaught struggling to stay positive.
The thing to take note of here for the next 3 minutes, we just seen Zhang Kui get Divine Ruin online. Look for Guan Yu when he makes those rotations into the enemy jungle by himself again, to actually rotate it and get taken down, as he's not going to have a heal to rely on with that Divine Ruin procs.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of an engagement there, and then they saw just how many members of Aware were there, and they had to back right up. Bakasura just looking scared, just looking very scared, and right now we're going to see just why he's taking so much damage, and Yubs is just going to polish him off right there. They do pull in Candyman, though. Candyman may go down to those pincers, but it's not going to be enough, because Yubs is going to jump in and just get the ultimate off, and the damage is pouring in. That's one. Are we going to see two? The surrender vote has started. What an impressive show from Aware Gaming. But
Aware a little too deep here. They could be in a lot of trouble. Baz going to get the first stack on his passive, and Sylvanas almost went down as well. Wall there to secure that as well. That almost fell out of favor for Aware. They need to be more careful.
I was really surprised when I saw the surrender vote there. Maybe that was a little bit of a mind game there. Let them move a little bit too far into the tower. But Cruxy is going to finish off Zhang Kui once again. Another kill. 10-2 right now, but Cruxy has pushed up a little bit too far. Freakster Dave may be able to get a kill here. Thor not looking too hot either. Gonna try to push a little bit of damage into Freakster Dave, and he's gonna have to disengage with that blink.
And that was good there by T-Small to get on out there with Mjolnirs, as well as Cruxy out there with his dash. That was near death for him. He needs to be more careful. They're up, yes, but it can easily turn around from you when you have a Zhang Kui and the amount of damage he can do with that ultimate.
Yeah, also it's just... This win, I'm not saying it is not a huge lead by any means, but if you start making mistakes against a comp, like the comp that Onslaught has right now, it will be punished. It will definitely be punished. And we're seeing them now. They're starting to get a little bit more comfortable in their own jungle, not as much counter jungle activity going on, and that's really because of some of the pressure that we saw Aware try to put onto the towers. You can't counter jungle and put pressure onto the towers all the time. So we just need to see Onslaught look for the holes and get their effective farm on and catch up. But we are going to actually see Blackside just kind of not scared of Baz right now in lane. Pulls him right in, gets a little bit of damage off, but Baz still looking pretty good here.
Yeah, we've seen Blackside. He's just like Honey Badger this game. He's just moving in. He doesn't care. We just seen that on speed buff not too long ago. As he's just sitting down, they're just pelting it with auto attacks. And just 4 members just all looking at him from the speed buff, afraid to even engage. They were just hitting him with poison darts, and he was just standing up there, just flicking his whips, didn't even move. I
don't even want to imagine what is going on in comms right now, especially after you saw that surrender vote. That is a nice little stun from Thor there, just kind of showing off, really bothering Zhang Kui.
Wall with the double tap on the Mjolnirs does a lot of damage, even though actually he's fully leveled into Mjolnirs now.
Yeah, we're going to see Sylvanas come right in here right now. Okay, Shiba Lanka ult is going down. We see a little bit of damage come in from Kepri, but it doesn't really connect.
Here we go. We're going to see Freakster Dave focus down here now as the stun goes off from Guan Yu. Look for the Talu Assault to come out here any minute to steal those, rip those protections, I should say. Stone Gaze is going to pick up that kill. Gunk gonna move it on in under tower. As the Berserker's Barrage comes down, he's taking a ton of damage. They're going to have 2 bars of health. The Bakasura ult down. Kepri all just prematurely put on him. Gonk going to take up the kill. Pillar Vagny going to pick up the kill on him, though. Cruxy going to pull up Malvado Paulo.
A lot of damage going around. Really, the Bakasura ult looked absolutely awful there. It didn't really do too much work, but we are going to see Aware get that tower down. Or no, sorry. They're not going to... Oh, yeah, they did. They did get the tower down. Sorry, I spoke a little too quick. That was definitely a good pickup for them. That's what they wanted from that team fight more than anything else. They want to keep their presence on the board strong. Moving right on over to the Gold Fury. Shiba Lanka and Bakasura are the only 2 on the map who really can get there in time. Shiba Lanka trying to move over right now, but I'm pretty confident Aware's going to be able to take this down. It's below 20%. Yeah, Shivalanka's going to move right off. The red team is going to destroy that Gold Fury. Looking at the graphs right now, XP difference almost 15k and gold difference in even 10.
This game is absolutely crazy thus far. We see these hyper aggressive plays coming out of Aware. You can tell they're playing with a lot of confidence here. That win versus Elevate last week really boosting their team chemistry. We're going to see Baz moving in here, trying to pick Cruxy, but Cruxy will likely be able to outbox both of these guys.
Yeah, but Cruxy might be in a little bit of danger here. We did really see the nice rotation from Bakasura here. Let's see. Okay, Bakasura, you're not going to really do anything except get petrified. Damage coming in on Bakasura.
That is huge right there.
Yeah, Cruxy really kind of shining there.
Three men versus one Medusa. You know, like that to be able to just survive that situation, even with the level advantage that Cruxy had there, that requires a lot of patience and a lot of skill to be able to pull that off.
When's this Bakasura going to become a threat? Because I am not seeing it yet. I'm also seeing, for a comfort pick, I saw some pretty ineffective alts. When am I going to be scared of this Bakasura? Because I'm just not seeing it right now.
I don't know. Let's just put it that way. At this point, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
He's just getting underleveled.
I have to agree with you.
He has his itchy Executioners online. Maybe if he gets some Lifesteal, Soul Eater worked into that build, maybe we might see his ability to at least sustain himself through these hyper-aggressive dives that he's trying to pull off. But right now, it's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, and we know what Onslaught needs to do to win, right? They need to be able to get back in, get some effective farm going so they can actually kind of get to the place where they can win these team fights. We're going to see a really strong engagement here. Yubs is just pounding in damage right now. Good night, Zhangque. And they're going for more. First, they're going to take out Kepri. Let's see if they can take it. Oh, yep, there it is. Good night, Bakasura. Surrender vote once again. Yeah, Freakster Dave, you're going down too. Are they going to get an absolute DSI here?
Baz going to hop on out of there. He's going to say, not me. That's all, folks.
Yeah, so this tower is going to go down. Curious to see if the surrender vote does go through here.
And here we go. Baz backing on off here. That's tier 2. Going to go down. Likely to see a Phoenix here. Baz better be careful. Wall there. Look for the grab to come out from Sylvanas, but he whiffs it again. As Baz just with the slick escape there, able to get the darts off and to refresh it with his escape. That's going to be a Phoenix, however, and a surrender vote.
Yeah, the surrender vote does go through. Yeah, I was surprised by that first surrender vote, not as surprised by that second one. They probably could have marched onto Titan there and at least put an impressive amount of damage on it. Who knows if they actually would have been able to take it, but really kind of seeing why that early game comp paid off there. Aware looking very, very, very strong.
Yeah, we're looking very strong. Looks like, I don't know if there was a name change on the side of Onslaught, but I don't recognize Gunked.
Gunked?
So maybe a new player there. I'm not exactly sure. No one told me the difference. I was talking to Freeze earlier, and he told me about Baz, but I don't know the story with Gunked.
Yeah, I really don't get the Bakasura pick. I said it so many times and really just did not see that Bakasura do anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, there's some people that think Bakasura is broken, especially when you play, gods like... If you're playing gods like Afro or Hell, or if your gods that really don't have an escape versus him, Bakasura can really get in and do a lot of damage. But there was no one really on this team that had that composition. Obviously, Bakasura in some cases can outbox a Hades when you're playing a Joust or something like that. And in that situation, that Bakasura seems like a very strong pick, especially in a Joust environment. But when you get into a team game, he isn't a strong pick right now.
Yeah, and we're not seeing him picked for that reason. That's why I was so surprised when he came out. And like you said, probably a comfort pick, but I didn't see any remarkable skill out of him either on the Bakasura. So coming into the next match, what do you think Onslaught's going to try to change up here?
They need to get a team comp.
Yep.
That's what needs to happen here. Is they didn't really have a team comp here that meshed well together. The only things they had a couple of strong picks in Kepri and the X-Ball. Outside of that, and the Zhangque, obviously, they were just strong picks all on their own. They need to surround that with something to build into team comp. They need some setup in the jungle, and they don't have that with the Bakasura. So look for that to change in Game 2.
Yeah, and that was a win that Aware needed to try to keep themselves competitive, moving into a position where they can take a top 6, move on to LAN. but we're going to have to see if Onslaught can give them a fight, maybe take one game. But before we do that, we're going to have to go to a quick commercial break, and we will see when we return. We'll be right back.